Have you ever scrolled through LinkedIn and seen a friend celebrating their new six-figure job offer, thinking they have finally made it, only to watch them 3 years later still complaining about being broke? Or maybe if we are being brutally honest today, you are that person. You are earning $100,000, $140,000, maybe even $200,000 a year. You did everything society told you to do. You got the degree, you climbed the corporate ladder, and you landed the impressive salary. On paper, you are wealthy, but in reality, you check your bank account with a knot in your stomach because you are somehow still living paycheck to paycheck, wondering where all that money goes every single month. Here is something that might shock you. There is a rapidly growing class of Americans who are technically high earners, but are just as financially stressed as people making half their income. According to a 2025 Goldman Sachs report, 41% of Americans earning between $300,000 and $500,000 report living paycheck to paycheck. 40% of those earning over $500,000 say the exact same thing. How is this mathematically possible? It's possible because you have fallen into the most dangerous psychological snare in modern finance, the "I deserve it" trap. You are medicating your career exhaustion with impulse purchases, confusing looking wealthy with actually being wealthy, and silently destroying your financial future one small treat at a time. My name is Gabriel, and welcome to Money Magnet Minds. I spend way too much time studying the invisible psychological traps and mathematical illusions that keep smart, high-earning people trapped in a cycle of financial anxiety. If you are tired of running on a financial treadmill despite your impressive salary, or if you just want to understand why six figures doesn't feel like the success you thought it would be, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Today, we are going completely under the hood of the high-income poverty trap. I am going to show you the brutal math of where your paycheck is actually vanishing, the psychological warfare companies use to extract your wealth, and the exact step-by-step systems the top 1% use to escape this trap and turn a high income into permanent freedom. Let's get into it. The brutal math of $140,000. To understand the "I deserve it" trap, we first have to shatter the illusion of what a six-figure salary actually buys you in 2026. Most people hear $140,000 and they picture luxury. They think $140,000 means you're taking home around $140,000, maybe minus a tiny bit for taxes. This assumption is dead wrong. Let's hit that number with a baseball bat of reality. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and whatever other deductions your employer creatively extracts, that $140,000 is more like $95,000 to $100,000 in actual take-home pay. If you live in a high-tax state like California or New York, you might be looking at closer to $85,000 to $90,000 actually hitting your bank account. Right off the bat, you have lost 30% to 40% of that impressive sounding salary. But here is where it gets financially devastating. Let's say you live in a major city because that's where most of these high-paying jobs actually exist. Your rent for a decent one-bedroom apartment in a safe neighborhood is $3,000 a month. You felt you deserved a nice car after your big promotion, so you leased a BMW for $700 a month. Insurance is another $200. Your student loans from the university that helped you land this job cost $800 a month. We are already at $4,700 and you haven't eaten, put gas in your car, or done literally anything else. Add $800 for food because you're too tired from your demanding job to cook most nights, so you rely on DoorDash and takeout. Utilities are $150. Your phone bill is $100. Your gym membership is $150. Your streaming services total $80. You need professional clothes, so add another $300. Averaged out, we are now at $6,280 in basic monthly expenses. If your take-home pay is around $8,000 a month, that leaves you with just $1,720 for everything else: emergency funds, investing, entertainment, dating, and vacations. This is the math of being quietly broke. The trap tightens precisely because this lifestyle is so difficult to reverse. Pulling out of the expensive apartment feels like a failure. Downgrading the car feels like a public admission that things aren't going well. So you just keep spending, hoping the next raise will finally be the one that gives you some breathing room. But the next raise never fixes it. And to understand why, we have to look at the psychological virus infecting your spending habits, the exhaustion tax, and the "I deserve it" mentality. Let me ask you a highly personal question. It's 6 p.m. on a Friday. You just survived a brutal 50-hour work week. You are mentally drained, physically exhausted, and dealing with a manager who doesn't respect your boundaries. On your commute home, you stop at an expensive store and buy a $60 item you don't actually need. Or you open a food delivery app and order a $45 meal that would have cost you $12 to cook at home. What did you tell yourself in that exact moment before clicking buy? I can almost guarantee you said the four most dangerous words in personal finance. I work hard, I deserve this. This is what I call the exhaustion tax. You are earning a great salary, but the pure exhaustion of your high-stress job causes you to leak hundreds of dollars a week in convenient spending and emotional medication just to survive your own schedule. You aren't buying the $60 item because you need it. You are buying the feeling of control and the dopamine hit that comes with purchasing. Your job made you feel powerless, but swiping that credit card makes you feel powerful. The purchase is emotional medication. Or conversely, maybe you had a massive win. You landed a huge client. You got praised by the executives. On the way home, you buy an expensive watch or book a weekend getaway. You tell yourself, I deserve a reward for my success. Different emotion, same exact result. An unnecessary purchase driven by feelings rather than an actual financial plan. This psychological mechanism is ruthlessly exploited by modern corporations. In 2026, the artificial intelligence algorithms tracking your behavior know exactly when you are most vulnerable. They know when you are stressed based on your scrolling speed and browsing history. They serve you products that promise to solve your anxiety right when your willpower is completely depleted. But the I deserve it trap goes far beyond just ordering takeout or buying a shirt. It infects massive, life-altering purchases through something called fantasy self-spending. Your closet is full of expensive athletic wear for the marathon runner you imagine becoming. Your kitchen has a $400 stand mixer for the artisanal baker you fantasy roleplay as. You buy a $2,300 home gym setup because you want to be the kind of disciplined person who wakes up at 5 a.m. to lift weights. You don't evaluate the purchase by asking, will I actually use this? You evaluate it by asking, is this who I want to be? And because the answer is always yes, you buy the equipment. It gets used enthusiastically for 2 weeks and then becomes the world's most expensive clothing rack. The purchase felt like progress toward your identity goal, but the object is secondary to the identity signal it provides. You're not buying the object. You're buying a costume for a life you aren't actually living. The lifestyle creep machine. The exhaustion tax and fantasy self-spending eventually merge into the ultimate wealth destroyer. Lifestyle creep. Let me tell you about Daniel. 2 years ago, Daniel was making $62,000 a year. He just got his second annual raise, and he is now making $70,000. That is an $8,000 increase over 2 years. Daniel should be saving thousands of dollars more per year. Instead, his savings account has grown by exactly $2,000 in 24 months, and he has no idea where the rest of the money went. Here is what happened. First, taxes and bracket creep took a massive bite. His $8,000 in raises only translated to about $5,500 in actual take-home pay. Then, inflation ate another $4,000 of that purchasing power, leaving him with a real gain of just $1,500. But Daniel didn't account for that. He just looked at his new $70,000 salary and thought, I deserve to live a little better. So he upgraded his studio apartment to a one-bedroom, costing him $3,600 more per year. He financed a newer car with a $250 monthly payment, adding another $3,000 per year. Daniel justified these choices because he got a raise. But these two decisions alone consumed $6,600, which was far more than his actual after-tax, after-inflation raise provided. These upgrades weren't funded by his raise at all. They were funded by the money he should have been putting into investments. And then comes the silent killer. Subscription creep. When Daniel was making $62,000, he had Netflix and Spotify for about $20 a month. Over the next 2 years, he added Disney Plus, HBO Max, YouTube Premium, a meditation app, and a meal kit service. Each decision seemed tiny. $10 here, $15 there. But Daniel is now spending $135 monthly on subscriptions. That is over $1,600 annually. He didn't make a conscious decision to spend $1,600 more a year. It accumulated gradually. The problem with these tiny purchases is that your brain doesn't flag them as threats. You will do days of research before buying a $30,000 car, but your brain basically doesn't process a $20 purchase at all. You look at your credit card statement and wonder how you spent $2,000 this month when you didn't buy anything big. It's because you made 75 separate micro purchases and each one bypassed your financial scrutiny. This is the essence of Parkinson's law applied to money. Expenses expand to meet income. The new lifestyle becomes your new floor. When your income goes up again, you don't save the difference. You just set a higher baseline. You are making six figures, but you are trapped on a treadmill that you yourself plugged in and turned up to maximum speed. The comparison economy and social sabotage. But you didn't invent these expectations in a vacuum. You are being actively sabotaged by the people closest to you. When you make $140,000, you are surrounded by other people making similar money, and everyone is engaged in an elaborate performance of success that nobody can actually afford. Your coworker just bought a $750,000 house in a nice suburb with a minimal down payment. They are hemorrhaging cash every month, but they post perfect photos of their kitchen on Instagram. Your college friend takes their third international vacation of the year, and you feel the pressure to join them in Portugal because you can afford it now. We no longer just compare ourselves to our immediate neighbors. In the comparison economy, we compare our behind-the-scenes financial reality to the carefully curated highlight reels of everyone we have ever met. You see that 2026 BMW in your friend's driveway, and your brain says, "I'm falling behind." What you don't see is the $15,000 in credit card debt they are hiding. You don't see the anxiety at 3 a.m. when they wonder how they'll make the lease payment. Most visible wealth in modern America is just debt in disguise. Let's talk about the absolute worst manifestation of this, the status vehicle escalation, or what I call the pavement princess trap. You get a promotion, so you trade in your reliable Honda for an $80,000 luxury pickup truck or a German sedan. The truck has pristine paint, heated leather seats, and a bed that has never hauled anything heavier than a bag of groceries. You are paying $975 a month for the loan, plus premium insurance and gas, bringing your transportation cost to over $1,500 a month. You think this signals capability and success. But let's look at what actual millionaires do. The largest study of millionaires ever conducted by Ramsey Solutions found that 79% are self-made. And do you know what the top 3 car brands driven by actual millionaires are? Toyota, Honda, and Ford. Not BMW, not Mercedes. Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord for years. Mark Zuckerberg drove an Acura. Millionaires understand a brutal mathematical reality. A $50,000 luxury car depreciates roughly 30% to 40% in its first 3 years. If you took that $772 average monthly car payment and invested it in the S&P 500, at historic averages for 15 years instead of financing a depreciating hunk of metal, you would have hundreds of thousands of dollars. The luxury car buyer traded $250,000 in future wealth for a decade of looking impressive in parking lots to strangers who do not care about them. People who are actually wealthy practice something called stealth wealth. Real wealth whispers, fake wealth screams. If every single item someone wears is covered in logos, if they never stop talking about their future investments, if their entire social media is a performance of prosperity, they are almost certainly part of the fake rich. They optimize their finances for external perception. Will this impress people? The actually wealthy optimize for internal freedom. Does this move me closer to never having to worry about a paycheck again? The 1% escape blueprint. Systems over willpower. So how do you escape? If the "I deserve it" mindset, lifestyle creep, and social comparison are keeping you broke, how do you actually build wealth on a 6-figure salary? You do not do it by tracking every single penny on a spreadsheet. Detailed budgeting relies on willpower, and willpower is a finite resource that depletes throughout the day. By 8 p.m. after a brutal workday, your willpower is gone, and you will buy the thing anyway. The top 1% do not rely on willpower. They build architectural systems that make good decisions automatic. Here is the exact blueprint to rewire your financial life starting today. Rule 1. The 15-50-20-15. Automation protocol. Stop saving whatever is left at the end of the month because nothing is ever left. Treat your savings like a bill that gets paid first. Here is where every dollar of your paycheck must be assigned the moment it hits your account. 15% to your future self, investments. This goes directly to your 401k up to the match, then to a Roth IRA, and then to a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. You do not pick single stocks. You buy the market and let compound interest do the heavy lifting. 50% to essentials, housing, utilities, transportation, minimum debt payments. If this number is over 50%, You need to aggressively cut costs or downsize your car. 20% to guilt-free lifestyle. This is your release valve. Vacations, restaurants, hobbies. It prevents you from feeling restricted and binge spending later. 15% to your stability fund. Your emergency buffer, held in a separate high-yield savings account and earning 4% or 5%. This is not for a vacation. It's to ensure a $2,000 car repair doesn't force you into credit card debt. Rule 2. Implement the 24-hour friction rule. Your brain is lazy. Convenience is weaponized against you with one-click ordering. Reintroduce friction. Delete the shopping apps from your phone. Remove your saved credit card data from websites. When you want a non-essential item, write it down and force a mandatory 24-hour waiting period. 70% of impulse purchases will evaporate after a day because the emotional desire for a dopamine hit fades. Rule 3. Capture your raises immediately. When you get that next promotion, do not let a single dollar of that raise hit your primary checking account. If it hits your checking, you will spend it on an upgraded lifestyle. Instead, log into your payroll portal the exact same day you sign the offer letter and route 100% of that net increase directly into an investment account. You continue living on your old salary. This is the only way to mathematically break the lifestyle creep machine. Rule 4. Conduct a sunset spending review. Every single evening, take exactly 2 minutes to look at your bank app. Look at the transactions you made that day. Categorize them in your head as either intentional or reactive. Did you buy that dinner because you planned a nice date, or did you buy it reactively because your boss yelled at you and you felt stressed? This tiny 2-minute feedback loop forces you to recognize your emotional spending triggers in real time, long before a monthly budget review would catch them. I want to be brutally honest with you as we close this out. The system wants you tired. The corporations, the banks, the advertisers, they want you exhausted from your high-income job so that you medicate your burnout with their products. They want you carrying credit card debt at 22% interest, funding an illusion of wealth while they extract actual wealth from your labor. If you keep saying, "I deserve it," every time you swipe your card, you're going to wake up at age 55 in a beautiful house, driving a beautiful car with absolute terror in your heart because you realize you cannot ever stop working. You don't deserve a $60 takeout meal because you had a hard Tuesday. You deserve financial freedom. You deserve the optionality to walk away from a toxic job. You deserve to sleep at night knowing that if the economy crashes, your family is completely untouchable because your assets are doing the heavy lifting for you. You have to undergo a fundamental identity shift. You must stop seeing yourself as a laborer who trades time to buy luxury items. You must start seeing yourself as a capital allocator. A laborer tries to increase their hours and upgrade their car. A capital allocator tries to increase their assets and upgrade their freedom. You make 6 figures. You have the raw materials to build generational wealth right now. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't a higher salary. It is execution. It is intention. It is stopping the leaks today. My name is Gabriel. This is Money Magnet Minds. Hit subscribe, leave a comment below with the one "I deserve it" expense you are cutting out this week, and I will see you in the next video. Stay strategic and keep building.